So, today, we are going to do a little bit of talking about Strangers of Paradise. Call it a little review, a little opinion by me, your boy. So let's get right into it. It's like a step off of Final Fantasy, but overall, like in the whole Final Fantasy universe, I've only beaten like 2 games. Final Fantasy 13 and I think Final Fantasy 13 2. But like there's like a million different story modes in the Final Fantasy 13 2. I only beat. Ooh, definitely got a little squirrely there. Let's bring it on back. What's this game about? Strangers of Paradise. Chaos. That's it. That's what it's about. The gameplay itself, the combat, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really focus on the story. So, I can't really speak too much on the plot. But what I can say, when I finished the game and I got to that last cutscene, it did make me want to go back and replay it just so I can understand it and, like, know what's going on. So, if that's anything or is like for anybody, I don't know, whatever. But anyway, comparing it to like Neo and Neo 2 story wise, like for example, I spent a lot of time in Neo and Neo 2 and I still don't know what those games are about. I couldn't tell you anything like big or like a big plot point from those games unless I like actively went back and played it. So yeah, but the games are still fantastic. The games are still great. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Moving on. It took me about 30 to like, I'd say like 35 hours to beat the game. And I did a good amount of side quests. A lot of like inventory management. I did not max out all the classes. There's HDR, quality mode, and performance. I played on performance mode because I need all 60 FPS. I need it all, especially for these games. I don't care, brother. So that's what I played on. But honestly though, the game's kind of drab. It's very gray. Nothing really pops out except for like 1 or 2 caves that were like kind of shiny. So I didn't really care. Like I said, combat. Difficulty, there's like 5 difficulties available for the game. I played on normal, but the harder the difficulty basically tells like what kind of items are going to drop. So like if you play on a higher difficulty, then you'll get better item drops. So if you know that makes you want to play on harder difficulties, then hey, you know. But I will say, because I spoke with the inventory like twice now, the inventory is probably my biggest gripe with the game, honestly. It needs help. Like these games, like Neo games specifically, like that is their biggest flaw, the inventory. The games love to throw loot at you, like it's not a problem. But the equipment menus themselves, they don't have a filter option, so you'll just be navigating those menus, you know, reading stuff, getting rid of stuff, whatever. That might make or break some people. I'm not even gonna lie on you. But speaking on the combat, because I've talked about that a couple times, it's great. I ain't gonna hold you. I love it. It's like I said, it's what got me through the game. It is the backbone of the game. The combat definitely got some layers because all the different classes or builds, whatever you want to go with. There's 28 of them bad boys. 28. Honky. Honka honka. So, with that being said, you can mix shit up. Jack can equip two different builds. So, you know, you can mix and match, do whatever, make some freaky weird shit. It's cool, it's dope. I made some stuff. I don't remember off the top of my head what I made, but it is crazy. Jack can also absorb enemies. Jack can also absorb, different abilities from enemies with the proper timing, of course, because nothing comes free. It's called the Soul Shield, and you can throw these abilities back at the enemies and do some damage, and it is very, very satisfying. So let's talk about. I know I touched base on the difficulty a little bit, so let's talk about dying, because that's gonna happen a lot. Once you accept it, you'll realize death is pretty forgiving in the game. We call this game like a Souls-like game because it borrows a lot of its influences from that. But it's not as punishing. So like when you die, you'll get to keep all your materia, you'll get to keep your experience, armor, and then your drops, all that stuff. But you won't. You'll receive a penalty on like your MP, which is vital for the game because like that's what your combat stands on, your MP. Turn my mic off. My fault. I'm new at this. So you know, with the difficulty, like with the difficulty being like that, I think it's actually pretty fair, depending on what you pick. You know, like you get what you buy. So let's talk about like multiplayer, single player. The game's single player or multiplayer. You could do both. I chose to play on multiplayer, because you know we got the bully bosses or the bosses bullied us. It was crazy. But we got through it. The game is definitely better in multiplayer, in my opinion. Way more fun. You know, you got homies to play with. You get to out the dialogue because it's crazy. I enjoyed it definitely. Multiplayer. I didn't really do too much single player, but I had the most fun. And the game is challenging too if you play in multiplayer. Like it doesn't like hold your hand or anything like that. So I definitely had fun with it. It's dope. I'm gonna pick it back up. These are like my final thoughts, by the way. I'm gonna pick the game up back up when this scheduled or planned DLC drops. There's no release date on that, but like say if like some homies want to like redo some missions or like they missed a mission or they haven't beaten the game yet, for example, I'm gonna pick it back up, and that's saying a lot. Some games I will not do that with. Yeah, so that's my review for Strangers of Paradise. Thank you all for pulling up. I'm just going to talk freelance here. So this is like a new thing I'm trying. Reviewing games. It's going to be a bit rough at first while I learn, you know, just the ways of editing and I guess presenting myself in this manner, you know, like reviews and stuff like that, and I guess giving good information or whatever. But it's really going to be my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I took the time to play this game. This isn't no, you know, like me getting paid or whatever. This is like me spending my time, you know, playing these games. So I'm gonna give y'all my honest opinion. And yeah, but new thing I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? New project of mine. So thank you all for tuning in, and there'll be more to come, more reviews. Yeah.